There's more than 20 different servers in China, and in 2017, Riot kind of said, hey, all the good players are too spread out. We need to do something about this and bring them together. So what did they do? They created the Super Server. You need to be Diamond 1 or above on any of the servers to apply. Once approved, you could play and grind on this new server, which is simply just different to every other server. All champions, everything unlocked, okay? The LP system is completely different, and one man has been ruling the server ever since it's released, and his name is Sally, and that's who we're reviewing today. This guy doesn't only play mid, he plays mid and jungle. He's probably by far the best, I'd say has the best game knowledge, the best mechanics on the Super Server, and possibly any server. The only player I know to hit over 2000 LP. This guy is an absolute freak, and we're going to break down his gameplay today, playing his signature champion, Cassio. Now the landing phase today is into a Xerath, probably the best Cassio counter, so I'm going to be interested to see how he can survive in the early game. You're really just going to have to utilize your mechanics trying to dodge out on the Xerath Qs, and Cassio is getting buffed next patch. It's huge buffs too. I think she actually will start coming back into the meta in high elo. The problem is Syndra's getting buffed as well, which is one of the best counters to Cassio. Any mid to long range control mage counters Cassio. Anything short with the dash, Cassio does very well into. I think I like playing Cassio into things like LeBlanc, Lissandra, Akali, just stuff like that where I can really ground them and make their life a living hell. As the jungler matchup is Viego into Lee. There won't really be much happening in the early game, okay? When you're playing Cassio, you're just looking to stack that tier, get as much resources as humanly possible, and become that late game monster. Now for the rune page, guys, we run Conqueror. A lot of Cassios prefer Phase Rush, but he just goes Conqueror, and he really loves baiting in skirmishes, okay? Extended skirmishes, it's why he runs Barrier. He'll literally get to 1 health, pop the Barrier, and then he'll use his R, his Miasma, and just start shredding them, start healing up with that Ravenous, and it is so scary to verse this guy, because he's wanting to do the 1v2, 1v3 plays. He's begging for it. So whenever he gets low, don't count him out. And Barrier, some people think Barrier is like a noob trap, you know? They're like, there's definitely better summoners you can be using. I think Barrier is pretty underrated. The cooldown is so low, and in comparison to heal, it's just going to give you a lot more value. Bot laners still like to run heal more for the 2v2 value, but mid lane specifically, man, running that Barrier, it allows you to really bait in some plays. It's so underused that people just aren't expecting it. A lot of people just forget. They're like, oh shit, he's running Barrier? What the fuck is this? Instantly get that 300 shield and just run away with it. So right now, Sally, he is the rank 1 on the Super Server. I think Bei Fang dropped down. He probably I think he's rank 5 or so. He's 1000 LP. Sally's 1600. Like he's really far away. And he actually doesn't have a preference on mid lane at the moment. He plays jungle more than he plays mid. He doesn't really care, which is weird. He's like, he doesn't really care what lane he goes towards. He's just a very solid all-round player, which is a lot different. Like, he's not a one-trick. He's not a Cassio one-trick, guys. He plays a phenomenal Vladimir. He plays champions like Nidalee in the jungle. Like, he just can do anything, really. He likes to play champions, obviously, that have 1v9 potential to take over the game. He doesn't... That's his style. That's what he does. And it's probably the best style you can have if you want to be climbing solo kill. He comes through, gets the kill onto the Rel. Xerath has a horrendous TP straight onto the Miasma. Flashes forward for the Q. And look how he weaves these autos. Whenever you're playing Cassio... Oh, we have ult. Should be out. He drops the Barrier a little bit late. Aphelios picks it up. The one most important thing you need to be doing when you're playing Cassio with Conqueror is weaving your goddamn autos in between your E's. You can't just be mashing your E button. It will work, but you're missing so much damage and stacked on the Conqueror if you're not weaving these autos. So in the first base, guys, he gets his Lost Chapter, gets the Dark Seal, and he'll probably wait 10 gold for boots. Just kidding, you're playing Cassio, there is no boots available. Coming out of base, his team starts up Drake. God damn it, Lee Sin gets the steal. Okay. Let's get it, Leona. They're gonna get collapsed on by Xerath, though. I don't know, if you hard shove this, I don't know if you're gonna make it in time. It's probably gonna be done. It's too late. Can't rejoin. So essentially, guys, you have two builds for Cassio. Well, I mean, let's talk. You have three builds. The main build, the most popular, is Leandry's. Has probably the best build path. You're getting the most damage, I would say. I'd say overall you're going Leandry's like probably 70 to 80% of the time. There's another 5 to 10% where you can actually get away with an Everfrost. Everfrost is great into short range comps. If your enemy is entirely short range, the Everfrost will help you to kite back. It'll give you a little bit of gap closer. So like the enemy team, like obviously you can't go at this game. They have Xerath. It's too hard. You're never going to use it on him. You won't get any value. But let's say the enemy mid was like a Renekton. They have Lee Sin, even Fiora, and they're very short range 80 carry. It's perfect to go Everfrost. Don't be scared, okay? And then the third build, which is getting a little bit of traction recently, is Riftmaker. Riftmaker essentially is going to be giving you a little bit less damage, but a lot of survivability, okay? If you know that you need in a fight to survive a little bit, it's going to be an extended skirmish, it's not much burst. The Riftmaker actually is very popular, so I would experiment around with Cassiopeia builds for now, guys. But just if you're having any problems, like the Leandry setup is a no-brainer. It's very easy to play. The haste is nice. You can just pop that. As he gets blue, and now he heads into the enemy jungle and picks up blue. Now, I think Sally has the best, like his climb is the best because he's essentially a mid-jungle. Like he plays both roles perfectly. He's a very high elo jungler, okay? And as a mid laner, like he just plays towards his jungler and he steals the enemy camps. Like he just has such a vast knowledge of the two roles that I think it just, I don't know, he just doesn't seem to lose. He just doesn't seem to lose. I've never seen this guy lose. He's too smart. Plays very slow, very patient. Doesn't rush into things. And he averages over 10 CS per minute on Cassio, by the way. It's disgusting. As we hit 80 farm in 8 minutes. He doesn't panic. He loves playing. A lot of the games you'll see him play from behind on Cassio. His team's in 5-10k gold deficit. Man, he just sits back. He lets them come into him, into his base. He'll look for some plays. He's always 10 CS per minute, gathers his resource, and then he just slowly becomes too much of a threat. Cassiopeia has no boots. She has that extra item slot, which really unlocks her later in the game. And he just takes over the bloody games. There's nothing you can do. It's gross how good Cassio is at 1v9ing. To just stay true. Like it's similar to, I guess you could say it's similar to Kayle. Kale's obviously a better late game scaler, but I feel like it's a similar mindset. You just have a little bit better of an early game on Cassio. You don't have to wait for level 11. So we should be able to pick up the Fiora. Good little roam there. Xerath's not be able to react. Xerath to get the hard shove in the mid lane. We'll get the Shelly into the top side. I hate that Viego back sound. It should realistically be banned. It just makes me feel gross. Now he split pushes a lot on Cassio. Even without teleport, he split pushes. Why? He just wants people to come. He wants people to come into him. He wants 2 to 3 of the enemy team to come into him and him to look for the outplay. He'll just do this over and over. And eventually he'll get like a 1v3, 1v4 or something ridiculous. And his team's on the other side of the map just piss chilling, taking every resource he can. Flash in 10 seconds. You have 3.2k gold. He's gonna stay. Oh, this is risky. He can take the Fiora, but if he gets collapsed on. It seemed like they... Yeah. He's very good at queuing, so what... He always preemptively queues. Like, he queues where they're going to go. I've seen him play into a LeBlanc matchup, and he queues before the LeBlanc W's, but the LeBlanc W's on top of his queue. Like, you can't queue where they are, you need to queue where they're going. That's where your poison needs to be. Cassio is a useless champion without poison, trust me. You need to be hitting Qs and having your W land on them for the extra damage on your E. Otherwise, you're a bloody useless champion. As let's see what the purchase is. It is a Leandry's, it is a sweeper, and it is a Fiendish Codex. Now, he doesn't like to go Cosmic Drive on Cassio. He'll usually go Hourglass after his Mythic, then he'll complete... He doesn't actually complete tier sometimes until last item. He just sits on it. I love Archangel, but sometimes he just sits on the mana and just gets his items, his legendaries. Not sure why. Just preferences it, I guess. Wants that CDR. Especially in the early game. I can't wait to play on this server, man. It's going to be exciting. Do you guys think I will get out of Diamond on this server? It's pretty competitive. But I have done things that others haven't. I don't want to bring up the man that we do not name that I have beaten. But I don't, obviously I don't like to bring it up. You guys know who I'm talking about. And we'll get back into... What the fuck is that? We'll get back into laning phase. Instant... Dude, what the hell? Instantly flashes in for the Xerath. Gets the R as he turns in. No hesitation. Now he's going to try and flank behind. How's this going to turn out? Enemy looks to be chasing. That's his blue. Don't fuck around with his blue, mate. Looking for the flank behind. Has sweeper up. Doesn't drop it. Grabs the Aphelios. Grabs the Rel. Like, he's so calm and collected. His skill shot accuracy is probably the highest out of anyone I've seen. And then he's like Dopa, man. Like, he doesn't rush into anything. He holds his flash when he needs to. He doesn't just go for, like... He doesn't have, like, insane risky plays. Like, they're there, especially when he has leads, but, you know, he's not a Caps. Which is no disrespect for Caps. It's just a different style of play. But that's one thing you'll notice about most of these rank 1 players, is simply that they are consistent. And to be consistent, you can't go for just 50-50 coin flips over and over again. It's about consistently getting resources every single game, carrying the games that most others would tilt into and go for desperation, and turning them around. There's a 2,700, God. He has so much gold from the CS. It is absolutely disgusting. Let's see if he goes a Medjai's or he goes, oh, Xerath? Hourglass Medjai's would be optimal. Oh? Shove this wave in for the reset. I'm very interested to see what he's going to buy. As you see, goddamn, dude, Xerath is such a nice counter. And there's just, like, no trading back, is there? So he gets the base and he spends the gold. It's a Rylai's setup this game. He doesn't opt for the Medjai's. He doesn't opt for the Hourglass. I think the Rylai's make sense here. If you land it on something like the Fiora, like the Xerath, they're not really able to get away unless they flash. It's going to help you really chase them down. I think if you had flash, a Medjai's pickup early would be great. Obviously, you don't have flash for like another 2 minutes, so it's really going to be a bit of a coin flip, because if the lead gets and slides in behind you, you'll probably bloody die as we set up for the mid lane tower here. And then we'll rock on into the top side. Blue buff's gone. Has a control ward there if he wants to place it. Okay, bot lane. Dragon in 60. By the way, guys, a lot of people ask me about what's the app for the timers? What's the app for, like, to see, you know, see how look at the minimap, or like the ultimate timers above the minimap for his teammates. You can see Sivir in 55 seconds or something. This is just Wii game, okay? It's a client in China that all the players get. Some people think it's like, it's not fair, it's hacking, as you find... Dude, thank you for the blue buff. What the... Some people think, like, it's not fair, this just happens in China. They just get the Wii game app, guys. Everyone gets it. And you get dragon timers, you get buff timers, you got little things on the minimap to assist you. I don't know why, I guess it is what it is. I'd love it. I'd love it if I could install it onto my client. As he is 9-0, 175 farm at 16 minutes. And you can see he is a problem. What do you do? What do you do to stop him? It's only 16 minutes in. He's level 13. He has too much gold. And now he just farms their jungle. He'll just be a complete nuisance in the side lanes here. And he'll just eat every resource that's available to him. 2,200 gold back in a base now. Gets the Magi's here. And the stopwatch working his way towards the hourglass. And you can see, I told you, like, he doesn't build his Archangel very, like, early. He sits on the tier and just leaves it. He has plenty of mana. He will complete it, but just not early game. He gets his essentials first. Dragon getting set up. He'll head down into the side lane. Side lane, it's where you want to be. And you run that barrier and you just, you let everyone come into you. Everyone will chase you around, I guarantee you. This Lee is absolutely on fire looking for these steals. Dude, it's too much resources. It's hardly fair. Now, we did see him versus... If you remember, I did a video again of Sally versus Caps at Worlds last year for the Super Server. And it's a bit of a spicy one. It's on my YouTube somewhere if you want to go watch it after this. Thank you, Viego. Bro, this is some Chovy CS. He's 217. The fuck is this? Ooh, the moves. And he has flash. I don't really think, like, you can play this very slow. You're so large that you can just play front to back, right? If the enemy team comes into you, just shred them. Head back here. 1350, he could stay. Let's see what he does. Just gets the hourglass upgrade. Probably gets the control. Head out, get his blue. Maybe steal away the Gromp. Man, so smooth. I'm not sure what's going to happen to Cassio on the next patch, though. I think they're increasing her E damage by 10 flat in the early game, which is actually a pretty large buff. It's going to allow you for a lot more extra damage for solo kills in 1v1s. Cassio actually used to be like the early game queen. Because you ran Presence of Mind, and old Presence of Mind, it gave you, when you leveled up, it gave you infinite mana for the next, was it 10 seconds? So you'd hit level 2 on Cassio, and then you'd headbutt your keyboard, spamming your abilities. No one could match you. Anyways, they took that away, they nerfed some of her damage, and nowadays she really doesn't get too much love in the mid lane. Not many people are still playing Cassio. But Sally stays true to his champion, and he'll just keep on playing it. What else is happening on next patch? Silas is getting nerfed. Kale is getting nerfed. You guys didn't see. I think Riot Games maybe watches a couple of my videos. Poor Nemesis. There goes his chances for rank 1 career. They're bloody nerfing Kale. I think they're taking 3 or 4 flat. Oh, the R flash. He doesn't miss on that. They're taking 3 to 4 flat MR off of Kale. So it's a direct nerf to mid lane into APs. Working his way into Archangel. The extra MS from the Soul Stealer as well feels so nice on Cassio. Obviously you can't run boots, so your passive kind of scales up on movement speed. So in the early game, in the mid game, like, it just feels really nice. I usually run Cosmic Drive on my Cassio, but I'm a noob. What do I know? Moving in. Let's see how he plays it. Q lands, just eats the Aphelios, looking for the Rel now. You can see why the Rylai's is so perfect into the... Oh my god, Lee entered. Should be able to grab the Lee Sin. Is that a Quadra? Looking for the Xerath now. It doesn't have flash. Come on, come on, come on. Xerath, give it to him. Oh, does the Q land? It doesn't. What is Xerath doing? That Q lands. Go in, go in, go in. Dukes absolutely everything. Game over, baby. That's a pentakill. My man. It just seems too easy. It feels... It honestly feels or looks like he's versing bots, doesn't it? He's 15-0 with 245 farm at 21. Like, he's really undertaking, like, no risk. I think the Sivir on his team's Imp, by the way. I think Imp was top 5 last time I checked the leaderboard. He streams a bit in China. And they'll shred through the Nash. And he's got enough for the decap. No, not the decap. Sorry, the Archangel. Going in. Just fronts to backs it, man. Beautiful team setup. He has 17 kills. What the fuck is this, man? What do you reckon his last item? Like a death cap would be nice. He just straight up death caps and sits on the tier. And I think the enemy team just FFs, right? I think the VOD's done. Yeah. Enemy team's done with it. And they FF and he alt tabs. My man. Such a nice player, dude. Like, I don't know. I think he's one of the better players to watch. Probably one of the most underrated players out there that a lot of people don't even know about. So I'll probably try and do more reviews on him. Hopefully him versus Beifang, the Kiana. Cassio versus Kiana would be an absolutely banger matchup. I'll try and get that for you boys. Or even Mango Fish, that Fizz player we watch. But until next time, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the VOD today, learned something new. And until next time, I'll catch you later. Peace.